Welcome back to the Levelsome. Got the Trip Wellness Mental Now Today. Transmute self-doubt. And then what we're gonna do with this doubt is we're gonna optimize that so I can let you know immediately what to transmute the self-doubt into, what to let yourself transmute into. Turn that doubt into care. Turn that doubt into care. Turn that doubt into care. The care has nothing to do with doubt. Care means you can think of doubt and think of much more beneficial things right after. That's what care means. Care means the doubt has no validity. And even if it does have validity, the care lets you know you're out to prove your love, your passion, your intellect, your preference, your experiments, your joy. For if any one of the great inventors or anybody who has done anything that caused them happiness, true happiness, that helped society abroad and immediately, they did not listen to the doubt that said, be against their self. They may have listened to doubt that said, don't you dare go against your invention, your idea. They might have doubted anything that proposed to them not to create that automobile, not to try her hair out this way, not to cut this linen this way, not to create the plunger this way. You know what you're doing. You know if you're following the fundamental guidelines within your craft to be within allowance of success. And you know how to take those allowances and attempt to expand them. Why? Why not? Learn. Keep cares. Keep the safety required. But now go out and allow yourself to dive in to the learning. So transmute self-doubt. Transmute equals a 5. Transmute reduces to a 5. Of course it does. The radical change. The next two. You got 1, 2, 3, then you got 4, 5, 6. What do they have in common? 2 and 5? Oh, the second. They're the second numbers within their respective cycles. 1, 2, and 3 reduces to 6. 4, 5, and 6 reduces to 6. 7, 8, 9 reduces to 6. It's all about knowledge here, folks. It's all about knowledge here. Syncretism is knowledge. Self-care is the true love. I love you all. To the 83 subscribers, only able to do this because I have authentic love and care for all of you, starting with myself. Transmute. 5. Transmute it. Let that radical change be your fundamental operating system. And that radical change isn't searching for change. It's allowing yourself to be working on what you have learned is optimal, and then always in the quest of learning and allowing learning. And once you do, allow immediate integration of what you learned. Allow that learning to be immediately integrated into your psyche when you know it's optimal. Let go of the resistance. Let go of the ego slow. Let go of the ego pretentiousness slow down. Because that's what the ego is. It's causing anybody to be pretentious. Ego-led living is fear worship. It's struggle worship. It's the justification to not have to change because of found safetyness already. But if this found safetyness was based off of no challenges, no authentic challenges for you to tap into your true gifts, then you're going to be on ego cushion. And that means anything that talks about truth, you're going to be tempted to demonize and be fearful of and complain about or tout offense against. These are all subpar ways of being. You are allowed to be them, but there are choices. You are creating your pedagogy. Your constant choices. What is your self-talk? Go watch the other videos, please, on this channel if you're new to the channel. Well, watch them get these. They're timeless. They're timeless. Transmute, embrace that 5 energy. We've gone over the self quite a bit. The 6 is the nurturer, that hot, sexy babysitter, whether it be a female or male. Whether it be a male or female. And they're a good babysitter too. Not only babysitter for infants, but just for anybody. 6s, the most beauty. Self, that's what it is. Self reduces to 6. Of course it does. That's the human. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. Stop being afraid of knowledge. You got to create it. Any religious text that's saying don't know about knowledge, you got to see through it, because in that same religious text it's telling you wisdom is the goal. One of the main goals. Wisdom is knowledge. Well, we would say that wisdom is the application. Wisdom is the integration and application of knowledge into yourself. And then you act on this knowledge implied with yourself. Allow yourself to have the integration of the knowledge through your applied knowledge of yourself. Then you observe the feedback you get from these actions in your nows, and you apply that too. That's wisdom. Keep the organicness going. That's wisdom. Wisdom has no age limit. Wisdom is choices. It is all choices. There is no one controlling you except for you. There are guidelines on how to make your choices based off of pristine, optimal energy. Christ, Buddha, Zen, Most High, Source Energy, Ether, whatever, all of the above. If you take stories literal, of course the characters can't be the same. But then you're going to understand that the stories aren't all literal, really. They're mythological. The ancient religious, spiritual texts. That's the self. Have to care for yourself. Did the doubt equal? Now here's the motivation to transmute the doubt. Because the doubt reduces to an 8. The motivation to transmute self-doubt. Doubt reduces to an 8. You're disrespecting the 8 energy because you're not owning when it's optimal to use this powerful word, doubt. It's a great, powerful word, doubt. But if you use it with yourself, you're addicted to destruction of yourself. You are. There's no way around it. Because this word has no business next to this word at all. Because this self is infinite. Now you're ripping your free willpower of a human by getting stuck on this, because you're on an ego trip. You're on an ego trip doing this. You think it's all right because there's programs out there that glorify certain characters that do this. And what? They're always picked, their slack is always somehow picked up by people who don't do this. This is just traps. You want happiness, you want true happiness, you want to radiate happiness, you want to magnetize your true spouse, your true connections, then you got to drop this. You want to drop this. Because if you're trying to do romance doing this, you're not attracting your true partner. You're attracting people who desire either the same misery as you and or the same misery coupled with a deep yearning to get out of that misery. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's your spiritual soul partner. It just means you're attracting someone that's caught on the same goals and thought rhetorics and synapses and internal dilemmas when you're stuck on doing this. And it can be tricked, and you can be tricked and masked and think that, oh, this means that this is my twin flame too. You have to do research. You have to look into your actual numbers and astrology to know if it's that. But most likely, if you're doing this and you attract someone, look, it doesn't mean you can't be friends, doesn't mean you can't, and even if you're married, doesn't mean you can't still have a happy marriage. But if you're gonna keep learning, you're gonna have, you want to get, you have to break open the shackles, break open the restrictions, because if you created these restrictions based off of, family traditions and things that are just not true, that's why you have the struggle. That's why you think that complaining endlessly about people who don't want to grow up. is helping you. It's not. All you're doing is keeping a space secure inside of you that's filled with frustration. And you think it's noble and correct because of what you're pointing at outwardly, because of what you're talking about. It's not. You're just keeping pain and misery eating at you internally. And then you're wanting company while you do this, and you're wanting others to do that what you're doing, so they will continue. See, it's the subconscious misery wanting company. Because the way to help the masses is to hone in on your skills. Whatever skills those are, that's what you got to hone in on. You see, you got to be careful of the truth community, because you got a bunch of people wanting you to look at issues that are supposedly bad, but are they providing real solutions? Because you got a lot of people who are aware, but they have a delay in work done for themselves. And then you go into the whole thing about, oh, but the true master doesn't work. The Christ and the Buddha, they don't work. Yes, they do. They do self-work inside, and then they go around doing their works, and they offer the help that they have for people to come see them, to reset themselves. You see, some of us are here on this earth planet. Our duty is to just purely help. That's going to, when you get to really good at doing that, that's going to look like Buddha, Zen, Christ. It's going to look like that. But then others are here, other people are here to still help, but not so deliberately, verbally, personally. More so on a creation aspect. More so on specific services provided. Art. Cosmology. Electricity work. Programming. Software. Furniture. Carpentry. You see, we're running from our crafts. We're running from our truth. That's why we think it's all right and justified to just say, oh yeah, we don't have to pay attention. Look at the wrongdoing happening. It didn't happen. You didn't even happen in your immediate now. But you think, yeah, am I saying that there's no, the awareness doesn't need to be created on certain things? No, I'm not saying that at all. But once it just stays there on the pointing a finger, once you just stay stuck on pointing the finger, you know you're on a lower vibration, because that finger you're pointing ultimately is about going back in. And I might be pointing that finger. I'm talking on a video. That's why I be pointing at whatever I do. I'm talking on a video. That's it. But when you're outside pointing at others, saying that this is the reason, that's the reason why this is bad. No. Yeah, create the awareness. Now you know. But then pointing the finger at the outside, well, that's not care anymore. That's just, it never was care. I mean, well, it was care at first when you wanted to create that initial awareness. But once you just stay stuck on it, on blaming the others or whatever you're blaming that isn't you, not to say that you have the blame, but if you just stay stuck on blaming the other, you're stuck on lower vibration, you're stuck on doubt. And you're going to want to have self-doubts when it comes to care. Because you're stuck on the other. Blame. That's not self-care. Self-care is like, all right, I'm blaming. But at what point do you stop blaming and realize, well, what the hell can I do? Well, if what you're doing is just ultimately pointing the finger more, you're not doing nothing. You're just acting like you are because you're doing something you don't usually do via creating awareness on whatever topic you're creating awareness on. But that doesn't mean you're doing self-care. You're trying to breed more doubt because all you're doing is pointing the finger saying, the people that are supposed to care, well, where's the care? If you got care, then you're going to have a solution with your awareness pointing. And my solution here for y'all, for anybody, including myself, is transmute self-doubt into self-care. Now the care reduces to a 9, and that's that unapologetic hug on yourself and on anyone that doesn't give a damn what it looks like. It just is hugging everything and everyone as it walks, just without even thinking about it. It can turn into a real problem for the 9s out there. They can feel like they're getting walked on, and they can feel like they can go through this struggle that has them feeling like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get walked on, right? No, you're not. In fact, you're here to demand your personal space too. You have to learn how to do that too. 9s out there. Born on the 9th, anything that reduces to a 9, life path 9, there you go. Transmute self-doubt into care. They take the 5 of the transmute, that goes to 5, the doubt of an 8, the self a 6, and the care a 9. What does it all equal? That 28 reduces to a 10 and then ultimately a 1. Now 28, of course, we'll go to the first reduction. 28 is a 10. Of course it reduces to a 10. Because I told you the first 3 primary cycles of numbers, 1, 2, 3 is 1, first cycle. 4, 5, 6, second cycle. 7, 8, 9, third cycle. Representing the 3 within everyone. And then the 3 within that. The 3 of the 3 cycles and the 3 numbers that make up each cycle within each of the 3 cycles. Within everyone is this, and then you can keep going ahead. Yes, the Russian doll effect, etc. But it's a 10. 10, of course, the representation, the number that represents we can do it again. Not only do we have 1 through 9, and really it's 0 through 9, but we can do it again. We can play. We understand. We're starting to understand our infinite creation of a human, our infinite potentiality of a human being, our innate birthright through the 10, because it's a fresh cycle, a newness, a way of expressing itself in a new and an optimized manner. Of course, 10. So that's what it is here. 10, 10. Transmute self-doubt into self-care. Transmute self-doubt into self-care. Care self, transmute. Care self, transmute. Respect the power of this word doubt. We went through it earlier. Respect the power of this word doubt. Yeah, you can use the word doubt, but don't doubt yourself. Doubt anything that says to you, no, don't try to do what you feel you really want to do in your guts and your heart. No, doubt that stuff. Doubt the stuff that tells you don't be honest. That's where you want to see. You see, nothing is to be damned. You don't know how to use anything. Don't cause harm. Don't cause harm to other vessels. But nothing is to be damned. That's what's happening when these things are acting out. We're not here to be restricted. We're here to know what we are optimal in restricting and limiting within ourselves. And that sounds like fasting and certain diets and etc. Optimize the vessel. Know yourself. Claim your self-care. Transmute self-doubt into self-care. You are allowed. You are the power. We are levelsome. You are levelsome. I am you. You are me. We are levelsome. Levelsome are you levelsome, we are. Source respect, source appreciation, source energy, source prosperity.